This film is brought to you by New York Life and its dedicated agents, proud sponsors of the NFL's team highlight films. New York Life, the company you keep.
Big time, let's go. Jets on 3. 1, 2, 3, Jets!
All right, Joe. Damn it. Now you stop him, okay? I put it on you.
Hey, guys, every play is your last play.
First play, every play, one play at a time. Rock, let's go.
The 1991 New York Jets looked to the skies and dreamed of someday soaring high among the NFL's elite. It was a transformation. A band of players, still new to each other and to a system, became a team that shocked everyone but themselves.
We not no surprise. All you gotta do is look. You see us, can't miss us. Hunt, hunt.
In their first playoff game since 1986, the Jets took Houston by storm, as rookie linebacker Mo Lewis recorded 2 of New York's 4 sacks, and the blitzing secondary delivered 2 big turnovers.
Mo goes back, he's hit and dropped. A loss on the play. He's sacked back there.
Jets got the ball. Jets got the ball.
Jets ball at the 26.
Double wing right, T right, pocket right, stop, cool.
The offense called Altoon's number, and he turned in the second-best receiving day in Jets postseason history.
Out to the right, Ken O'Brien being rushed, throws into the left corner deep. It's caught. It's caught for a touch.
But on this day, the Jets couldn't finish what they started. On the final play, they came up literally inches short.
Back to pass, steps into the pocket and throws long. A Hail Mary, deep downfield. And it's...
The growing pains of a young team often include defeat. But one playoff loss shouldn't overshadow what the Jets did to get there.
First and goal to go, 6 yards out. Hand off this time to Blair Thomas. He runs off right tackle, goes in for the touchdown.
The Jets took some hard hits and made some wrong turns in 1991. But every time it looked like they had run themselves into a dead end, they kept running till they found daylight. And as they take off into a new era in Jets history, they will look back on 1991 as the season they learned to fly like a winner.
O'Brien back to pass, steps into the pocket and throws long, way up in the air. Coming down near the goal line. Batted around high in the air, batted around. Touchdown! Touchdown! Chris Burkett caught it. He caught it in the end zone.
On opening day, the Jets were looking to infuse the Meadowlands with a new kind of enthusiasm. But they used a couple of old-timers to do it.
Pitch out wide to McNeil, trying to cut through the goal line. He goes in. Touchdown! Touchdown!
Freeman McNeil, the Jets' all-time leading rusher, helped get the season off on the right foot. But it was the right foot of Pat Leahy, the NFL's 3rd all-time leading scorer, that broke a tie with a minute to play.
The ball to snap, placed down is kicked. High enough and deep enough, and it is. It's good! It's good!
For the Jets, the win meant more than just an ordinary W.
Home opener! Home opener! Home opener! Woo!
Head coach Bruce Coslet and general manager Dick Steinberg have a goal of bringing back the home field advantage. players feed off the fans, and the fans have the power to turn the Meadowlands into a feared arena for any visitor, even the AFC champion Bills. In Week 3, the Jets derailed the Bills' no-huddle express, highlighted by number 40 James Hasty, who in 2 games against All-Pro Andre Reed would hold him to his 2 worst games of the season. On offense, it was the Jets who looked like a juggernaut.
Back to pass, Kenny O'Brien, rush, throws over the right side. Blair Thomas, touchdown!
The Jets outgained the Bills by nearly 100 yards and held the ball for over 40 minutes. What they didn't do was make every minute count.
He goes back to pass, throws down the middle into the end zone. It's caught for a touchdown.
The Jets failed to put the Bills away when they had the chances, and Buffalo stole the game in the final minutes. It was an eerie scenario that would play itself out again the following Monday night in Chicago. Behind the blocking of Dave Cadigan, Irv Eatman, Roger Duffy, and Brett Miller, running back Blair Thomas ran for a career-high 125 yards. The Jets led 13-6 and appeared to have knocked the Bears clean out of the ring. But once again, they failed to deliver the knockout blow.
Handoff goes to Thomas. He drives up the middle, goes off right tackle, and he's pulled down. And the Bears indicate they have the ball, a fumble. Yes, the Bears have the football. The score is Bears 19, the Jets 13, and you can go to bed unhappy.
Though haunted by 3 nightmarish losses, the Jets kept dreaming big.
It proved to us that we can play, and it also proved that we don't know how to win yet, but we're getting there. We're real close.
In Week 5 against Miami, the Jets took one giant step closer.
Great form, great level, 10 level, great poise. Inside the 10. 1, 2, 3, 10.
He's at his own 7-yard line. Gets the snap from center, moves forward, and it's blocked. It's blocked. It's picked up. It's a New York touchdown.
Once a starter, Chris Burkett is singing a new tune as a role player, and he and the Jets are making beautiful music together. In sports, the most valuable players are the ones who make their teammates better. In 1991, Chris Burkett's teammates gave him their Most Valuable Player award, an amazing honor for a player who doesn't even start. As a clutch third down receiver, Burkett made quarterback Ken O'Brien more effective in key situations. On special teams, he provided drive and focus. And his kick coverage helped first-year punter Louis Aguiar to a first-rate season. And in that critical Week 5 meeting with Miami, he single-handedly steamrolled the Dolphins, opening the floodgates on the Jets' greatest offensive outpouring of the season. Burkett pointed the way. Then fullback Brad Baxter cleared the path to victory.
Kenny O'Brien under the center. Hands off down to Freeman McNeil. Drives up the middle. Picks up good yardage up to the 30 to 35. Breaks out of the clear. Past midfield. Over the 40 to 30-yard line. Down the far sideline to the 20. Freeman McNeil with a brilliant run.
McNeil and wide receiver Rob Moore enjoyed their biggest games of the season.
3 wide receivers. Back to pass O'Brien. Throws short over the middle. Down to the 10. Down to the goal line. Touchdown by Rob Moore. Rob Moore over the middle.
Number 90, Dennis Byrd. Number 97, Marvin Washington. And Jeff Lagerman led a pass rush that sacked Dan Marino 4 times, the most Marino has ever gone down in a game. Safety Eric McMillan delivered the final blow.
Goes back to pass. Throws down the middle. Intercepted. New York ball. McMillan. McMillan along the left side. He's going to go all the way. No one near him now. He
The Jets had stumbled, but hadn't fallen. And for the next month, they would straighten up and fly right. Burkett and the special teams, including R.J. Coors, Don Boyd Odegaard, Tony Stargell, and McMillan, the special teams' leading tackler, developed a fearsome reputation. The following week in Cleveland, return man Eric Metcalf wouldn't even play with them. After the Jets gave Metcalf a refresher on the rules, Bernie Kosar gave the Jets a scare as New York clung to a 3-point lead.
Kosar goes back to pass, sets up with time, starts to run with the ball, goes past the line of scrimmage. He cuts back to the right, almost to the fumble, a loose ball. It may be recovered by the Jets. It is Jets ball. Kosar fumbled, recovered by James Hasty.
In his 4th season, Hasty continued to be a breath of fresh air for the Jets and the kiss of death for the opposition. The starting secondary that included Mike Brim, Brian Washington, and Lonnie Young helped defensive coordinator Pete Carroll's unit improve in virtually every category.
He coming like a Lee Humming. See, by the time I get situated, he's trying to get in behind me, you know?
You just got to be there when it's double. Action in the field, boom, and we're sitting right on it, all right?
Middle linebacker Kyle Clifton, the team's leading tackler, led the Jets to a 17-6 win over the Colts in Week 8. Then it was the defensive line's turn to shine. Against the Green Bay Packers, defensive end Jeff Lageman went out to rub elbows with his old college buddy Don Majkowski. Then rubbed his nose in it with 2 of his team-leading 10 sacks. But it wasn't until the last play of the first half that the Jets' offense caused any trouble.
One last gasp attempt. O'Brien back to pass, steps into the pocket and throws long, way up in the air, coming down near the goal line. Batted around, high in the air, batted around. Touchdown! Touchdown! Chris Burkett caught it. Chris Burkett, after it was batted around, he caught it in the end zone.
Earlier in the season, the Jets had learned it's how you finish the game, not the half, that matters. Starting the season's second half, it was time to put that lesson to good use.
The second half is just like the second half of the season. It's when we win it or don't win it. It's whether we get the fans with us or they go home. It's up to you. Let's go to work. Let's go.
Scott Mercereau helped execute the defensive game plan, but the tide didn't turn till overtime, when punter Louis Aguiar gave new meaning to the term hang time, and the Jets strung up the pack.
Kick is very high in the air, not too deep. Great hang time. It's fumbled, it's loose. It's picked up by the Jets along the 30. He can't run it. Middle. He can't run it. Bobby Houston can't run. He goes down to the 1-yard line, but Houston can't run.
While Bobby Houston, one of the newest Jets, celebrated his greatest moment with the team, the oldest Jet just chalked up another one.
The teams are lined up and set. Ball to snap, placed down, it's kicked, and it's good! It's good! The Jets win! The Jets win!
Pat Leahy gave the Jets their 4th win in 5 games, and it looked like smooth sailing to the playoffs. Instead, the Jets ran into the stormiest part of the season. The NFL playoff race is a stormy sea, and even an old master can't always navigate the changing winds.
Oh, that's close. Get in.
The Jets' home loss to the Indianapolis Colts was the low point in the season, the kind of defeat that embarrasses players and fans, too. Like a child in a growth spurt, the Jets had their awkward moments. And like parents, the coaching staff had to have patience to help this young team grow up.
Oh, my God, I can't believe we blew that play.
Our problem is we're not on the same level. That's what's killing us. We're not on the same level. You understand what I'm saying? You got to get on the same level or we can't pick this stuff up.
Hey, that's not good enough in the rush. Too damn hesitant. You pussyfoot. Hey, you get your ass right up that friggin' gap and go.
We got to make some plays, man. Everybody's just missing just a little bit.
Like this is why I can't get back.
You got picked, I know. No problem. We're going to come back with sprint draw. Off the same exact hook. We'll kill it. We've had our chances. Come on, we got to keep the pressure on. We're still with you. We still love you. Maybe not as much as before, but we're still, you all right?
A big reason to love the Jets is their future at quarterback. Last year's top draft pick, Browning Nagel, and second-year pro, Troy Taylor, number 11, both plan to be there when the Jets reach the top. In 1991, though, they spent most of their time on the sidelines, learning the finer points of the game.
I'm giving him some phony signals because I think they're scoping me.
8, 19, 16.
Hey,
I like that little pelvic thrust. That's a good twist. Pelvic thrust is a good twist.
Whatever special twist they give it, the Jets are in good hands when passing is the main thrust of the offense.
Kickoff from. That was a good catch, wasn't it?
Some of the toughest catches were made by Al Toon, who continues year after year to survive the rugged terrain over the middle. Downfield could be found Rob Moore, who nearly gained 1,000 yards in just his second year, as the Jets' passing attack improved by leaps and bounds. In Week 11 in New England, Terrence Mathis kept the passing game a step ahead of the competition.
He's got the first down. He's ahead of everyone. He's down to the 10. Touchdown!
At points per pound, Mathis weighed in big. But the game's biggest points were delivered in bulk.
O'Brien running it, throws into the end zone. Touchdown! Touchdown to Trevor Matic, the wide receiver, guard, and center.
The NFL's biggest utility man gave the Jets the lead, but the defense would have to keep it.
It's the final play of the regulation time. 1 second to go. The handoff to Vaughn. He goes to the goal line. He does not get in. He does not get in. The Jets win the game.
It's time. We need that streak going. Make the dash for the cash right now.
The anchor men in the dash for the cash are the offensive line. In Week 12 against San Diego, Jeff Criswell, Jim Sweeney, Mike Haight, and Dwayne White paved the way for Blair Thomas.
Good job. Keep pumping. Now let's go. Keep pumping. Way to go, friends. Good job.
Thomas's pair of scores led the Jets to a 24-3 win that settled the Jets' account with the Chargers after 2 losses last year. Still, it would come down to the season's final game in Miami to see if the Jets were going to cash in on the lessons of 1991.
It's a playoff for a playoff game, or so it seems.
Ball's out. On you.
The New York Jets and the Miami Dolphins getting set for the game, which means that the winner goes into the playoffs and the loser goes home.
This is what you dreamed for all your life when you're a small boy. And I want to tell you what it's all about. It's your will versus their will. You understand that? It's your pride against their pride. Let's go get their ass.
The Jets won the battle of the line of scrimmage early, and one of Brad Baxter's team record-tying 11 rushing touchdowns gave the Jets the lead.
Handoff goes to Baxter. He dives in.
Touchdown.
Touchdown! Touchdown! And the Jets go ahead 6-0.
Good job, boys. Good job, Boyer. Good job. We use the whole quarter, boys. That's what it's all about.
But the battle had been a costly one. The Jets lost Thomas, their leading rusher, to injury, and were forced to put their faith in veteran running back Johnny Hector, still rusty from lack of use. Hector looked shaky as the Dolphins tied the score, but the Jets' faith in him was unshaken.
It's over, okay? Don't worry about it. I know how you are. Get it. Hey, you'll have another opportunity. Okay? You got it. All right, we can pound these guys. Let's go. You're the man. You're the man.
In the fourth quarter, their faith was rewarded.
Hands off to Hector. He drives up the middle, breaks out in the clear, up to the 20, the 25, over to the far side. He could go a long way.
Johnny Hector gained 132 yards, the most by any Jet in 3 years. Hector helped New York build a 17-13 lead, and the Jets tried to stay up as Miami threatened in the final minute.
Nothing gets us down. If they don't score, we win it. If they don't score, we win. 48 seconds on the one. 4th and 1 on the one.
Oh, baby, this is it. 4th and goal from the one. One play for the playoffs, folks.
All right, here we go. Marino under the center, calling signals. Goes back to pass, throws into the corner. Touchdown.
They didn't cover Edmonds.
20-17, 44 seconds to go in the game. I've never said this before, ever, in 50 years of broadcasting. The game is over, folks. The game is over, folks.
All season long, the Jets had struggled in seeing a victory through to the finish. They had 44 seconds to prove they'd finally learned how.
Steps into the pocket, throws long down the middle, and it's caught at the 47-yard line of the Dolphins. Shotgun formation. He hands off to Freeman McNeil, who runs wide. He goes to the far sideline, goes out of bounds.
What a big play by Freeman McNeil. Brought the ball all the way down to the 26-yard line.
With Leahy hurt, the Jets had signed free agent kicker Raul Alegre just that week. But again, they believed.
He'll make it. He'll make it.
I think he'll make it.
Yeah, he's going to make it.
Teams are lined up and set. Signals are being called. The ball is snapped. It's kicked. It's high enough. It's deep enough. It is good. It's good. It's all tied. Wow. What a fantastic finish. I said the game was over. Folks, it was not over.
All right, it all boils down to this. We got to have it now. We're alive, baby. That's the important thing. We keep playing with this.
If we get the ball right back, they're going to have to start taking some chances, all right? So be alive to man coverage. They're going to start coming after us with their linebackers, okay? If you can hold them out, we can throw downtown on them.
June flank wide to the right. Moore split wide to the left. 2nd and 12 at the 38. Man in motion to the left side. Back to pass. Kenny O'Brien throws long, deep down to the left side, way down to Moore. He's got it. Inbounds at the 10-yard line.
Brad Baxter with a great block on the blitzing linebacker. Baxter picked him up.
The Jets are in field goal range.
I'm going to tell you right now, he's going to make it.
This is the season right here, folks.
Now they're ready to go again. 30 yards straight away. The ball is snapped, placed down, it's kicked. High enough, deep enough. It is good. The Jets win. The Jets win. The Jets are streaming out on the field, jumping, shouting, rolling on the ground. They're in the playoffs.
Any team has to walk before it runs and fly before it wins it all. Were the New York Jets learning to fly in 1991? Well, suffice it to say that after they made the playoffs in Miami, they didn't need a plane to get home.
No, listen, I'm going to hit you right over. Okay. On that table, baby.
No, I'm all right right here. No, I'm all right. I like the level I'm at with the guy. Okay, now, have a decent plane ride home. Normal Monday, okay? That's it.